I prepared my comments today with 7 major headlines in an attempt to provide some background and context on some current events that have occurred nationally that affect intercollegiate athletics. First of all, I'm outside the arena as it relates to the Northwestern matter. I have no inside or personal knowledge as to the circumstances that led to the announcement that occurred last week. But as a former vice president of human resources and labor relations for a Fortune 500 steel company, I know the issue of representation is between an employer and their employees. Now, it's governed by applicable federal or state regulations depending upon who has jurisdiction, but those are well-defined procedures. At Purdue, our athletes are students, not employees, and I think it's been evidenced by the way they performed in the classroom semester over semester, and the fact they graduate at a higher rate than the student body. Now, we do invest in this student-athlete experience because we believe the combination of an athletic experience competing at the very highest level for a championship, at the same time acquiring a world-class education, creates a competitive advantage for these young people later in life. Now, this question normally leads then to, well, how much is being invested? And there are a lot of stakeholders in this: the student athletes, the parents, fans, John Purdue Club members, the media, the general public, and the like. So we've attempted, using Purdue as an example, to look at a full scholarship athlete over a 5-year period. During that period of time, the value of the education is $250,000, and by the way, that has no income tax obligation. This would be for an out-of-state student on a full scholarship. Now, it also includes the daily support services such as tutors and trainers and sports performance personnel that they would use on a daily basis. Embedded in this number contains some money from the Student Athlete Opportunity Fund. This is a fund provided on each campus by the NCAA. It's funded through the basketball tournament, and it helps to provide necessary incidental expenses. So, for example, if a young person had a family emergency and needed a plane ticket, we would be able to reimburse them for that. Over and above the $250,000, however, there's additional assistance that's available. Under the federal Pell Grant program, people who can demonstrate financial need are eligible to receive an additional $5,600 a year, or in our case, with a 5-year full scholarship student athlete, $28,000. Now, this is actually cash in hand that the student athlete would receive. Unlike another student who might qualify, who's not an athlete, that money would be remitted from the federal government to pay for his or her bills. Now, in addition to acquiring a world-class education, our full scholarship student athlete will graduate debt-free, which means, according to our financial aid personnel, that we could avoid they could avoid a loan payout of up to $175,000 to $200,000. Now, none of this takes into account the opportunity to compete for championships in sports they love. We invest in experienced coaching staffs, travel, equipment and apparel, expertise to lead our sports medicine, sports performance and nutrition areas, and state-of-the-art facilities. Over the last 6 years, we've invested about $120 million. Most of that came from the incremental media rights that we've been fortunate enough to receive to eliminate the remaining obvious deficiencies in our facilities. We're pleased that that final piece, softball, was approved by the board this past December. Now, those are the hard numbers. If you look at the NCAA dashboard indicators, one of the data points they collect on each school is, what are your total expenditures divided by your student athletes? And at Purdue, that number is $135,000. So if you take the $250,000 over 5 years, that's approximately $50,000 a year. It means there's a tremendous amount of support around the auxiliary areas to support the student-athlete experience. One of those areas was the creation of the John Wooden Leadership Institute. And our thought here was that we wanted to develop a curriculum that would cover the period of time from the entering day as a freshman until they graduate. The intent was to encourage, nurture, and develop at a faster rate leadership skills for our student athletes, and to create a culture where active engagement was expected. There are a number of different activities that are comprised in that curriculum. I'll just mention 2. We have an Emerging Leaders program. This is really focused at sophomores who've demonstrated early in their career the courage to lead, to step out. They're nominated by their coaches, and they'll meet with our leadership advisor, Kathy Wright-Eager, 9 times during the semester to explore and experience techniques and strategies on leadership. In addition, our juniors and seniors are members of the Boilermaker Athletic Council, and this group meets with me once a month at 6:15 in the morning. It's a business meeting where we talk about the affairs of the department, we explore leadership topics, and we discuss Big Ten, departmental, and NCAA issues. Hearing their concerns, answering the why questions, and providing a forum to surface concerns and work on strategies for resolving them is one of the core missions of the group. Both these activities, we think, create an environment in which people can talk about the issues that are the tough ones and ones that we need to get up on the table and see what we can do to develop a strategy to resolve them. We do all this because we recognize the student athlete at Purdue is our customer. And we want to have them guided by experienced staff so they can be the best they can be in the classroom and competition. Finally, we really believe this group of student athletes as they graduate are a very significant piece of the foundation for the future. We believe our student athletes know that we have their back just as I know they have ours. These people are what America needs: tough, talented, and relentless leaders who can play any role to help their organizations be successful in the future.